pair of jeans. My stomach clenched again as I climbed the stairs to my bedroom. Bernard Katz, owner of resorts for the rich and famous, had earmarked the beautiful and currently vacant 50-acre parcel of land right next to the Gray Whale Inn for his next big resort, despite the fact that the Shoreline Conservation Association had recently reached an agreement with the Cranberry Island Board of Selectmen to buy the property and protect the endangered terns that nested there. The birds had lost most of their nesting grounds to people over the past 100 years, and the small strip of beach protected by towering cliffs was home to one of the largest tern populations still in existence. Katz, however, was keen to make sleepy little Cranberry Island the next bijou in his crown of elite resorts, and was throwing bundles of money at the board to encourage them to sell it to him instead. If Katz managed to buy the land, I was afraid the sprawling resort would mean the end not only for the terns, but for the Gray Whale Inn. As I reached the door to my bedroom, I wondered yet again why Katz and his assistant were staying at my inn. Bernard Katz's son Stanley and his daughter-in-law Estelle owned a huge summer cottage called Cliffside that was just on the other side of the preserve. I had been tempted to decline Katz's reservation, but the state of my financial affairs made it impossible to refuse any request for a week in two of my most expensive rooms. I reminded myself that while Katz and his assistant Ogden Wilson were odious, my other guests, the Biddles, a retired couple up from Alabama for an artist retreat, were lovely and deserved a wonderful vacation. And at least Katz had paid up front. As of last Friday, my checking account had dropped to under $300, and the next mortgage payment was due in 2 weeks. Although Katz's arrival on the island might mean the eventual end of the Gray Whale Inn, right now I needed the cash. Goosebumps crept up my legs under the wet denim as I searched for something to wear. Despite the fact that it was June and one of the warmer months of the year, my body hadn't adjusted to Maine's lower temperatures. I had spent the last 15 years under Austin's searing sun, working for the Texas Department of Parks and Wildlife, and dreaming of someday moving to the coast to start a bed and breakfast. I had discovered the Gray Whale Inn while staying with a friend in a house she rented every summer on Mount Desert Island. I had come to Maine to heal a broken heart, and had no idea I'd fall in love all over again, this time with a 150-year-old former sea captain's house on a small island accessible only by boat. The inn was magical, light, airy rooms with views of the sea, acres of beach roses, and sweet peas climbing across the balconies. I jotted down the real estate agent's number and called on a whim, never guessing that my long-term fantasy might be within my grasp. When the agent informed me that the inn was for sale at a bargain price, I raced to put together enough money for a down payment. I had had the good fortune to buy a large old house when Austin was a sleepy town in a slump. After a room-by-room renovation, it sold for 3 times the original price, and between the proceeds of the house and my entire retirement savings, there was just enough money to take out a mortgage on the inn. A mortgage, I reflected as I strained to button my last pair of clean jeans, whose monthly payments were equivalent to the annual gross national product of Sweden. I tossed my coffee-stained jeans into the overflowing laundry basket and paused for a last-minute inspection in the cloudy mirror above the dresser. Gray eyes looked back at me from a face only slightly plump from 2 months of butter and sugar-laden breakfasts and cookies. I took a few swipes at my bobbed brown hair with a brush and checked for white hairs. No new ones today. Although with the Katzes around, my hair might be solid white by the end of the summer. If I hadn't already torn all of my hair out, that is. When I pushed through the swinging door to the dining room at 7 o'clock, Bernard Katz sat alone, gazing out the broad sweep of windows toward the section of coastline he had earmarked for his golf course. He looked like a banker in a blue pinstriped three-piece suit.